So there's me goofing. So hello from Bauer Custom Guitars and Amplifiers and Cats and coffee cups. Wherever my coffee cup went, I have no idea. I set it down somewhere and I forgot where I put it. And that's bad news when you lose your coffee. So I will have to go get more. So anyway, I haven't been doing very many of these videos lately, and I've had so much stuff going on. But I'm going to do this one real quick, just a tiny little tidbit, and we'll get back to business where we're doing these a little more often and a little more normal. There's going to be some changes around here. Anybody that knows me on Facebook or knows me personally, I have been engaged. So I proposed to my girlfriend Tanya on Valentine's, and she said, "Sure, why not?" She didn't really say that. She said yes, but anyway, so there are going to be some changes around the house. I'm going to be rearranging a few things and building my wood shop area out in the garage, which is the garage wood paint area. I'm going to turn that into the studio garage wood paint area kind of thing, so we have more room in the house. So few little changes, but good changes. So anyway, enough of that. You didn't tune in here for as the Matthew turns, but I'm over here spinning around on my seat. So what I got on here today, what I was goofing around with the guitar, was this little PVPA head. A lot of this one, somebody broke the power jack on the back of the thing, so I had to replace that for someone. But I specialize in this shop in vacuum tube amplifiers, and specifically vintage vacuum tube amplifiers, although I do some of the more modern amps, such as some of the later Marshalls and some of the Mesa Boogies, and the triple rec series, the dual rec series, stuff like that. Those kind of amplifiers can get a little tricky because of the circuit boards and the way they're built. This kind of stuff here can also get a little bit tricky because of the way that they're built. This particular one is PV, and it's old enough that it's basically analog with a digital effects unit kind of spliced in there. So it's still components that you can actually get in there and work on. So it's not so bad. Some of the stuff is, like some of the little Mark bass amps and some of the little micro bass amps and stuff. It's just not possible to work on those with a standard soldering iron and standard chop tools and things. It takes some very specialized equipment, and generally you have to replace the entire circuit board when you have an issue of some sort. And doing that is a little bit tricky because a lot of those companies don't want to part with the pieces. They don't want to sell you the parts. So that can get a little bit tricky. But anyway, that's kind of the lowdown on what I do. So I specialize in vacuum tube stuff. I will do some of the solid state stuff like that. It's kind of on a part by part basis. If people get in touch with me and say, "Hey, I got this problem with whatever," I can kind of judge the problem with it and judge the piece of equipment from a photograph and tell you, yeah, because I've been in enough of those things, I've opened up enough of them that I can tell you, hey, I can fix that, I can work on that, or no, there's no chance I can get parts for that, or I can't deal with it because my shop's not able to do that. So I can give you a good idea just from the pictures. But anyway, so that's today's little tidbit. Like I said, it was just a little bit. And those two guitars on the wall behind me, one of them, the electric one, is a customer's. I'm going to carve a bone nut. I'll be doing some of that here in the next day or two, and carve a bone nut and do a fret job on it. There's some high frets, and the other one is a work in progress. It's the one that I've been repairing the headstock break and making a splice. I'm about halfway done with that. I had to stop because of the weather, because you can't glue natural glues and high humidity and stuff like that. So I had to put the brakes on that one for a couple days, but I can get back to that now that our weather's nice. So anyways, that's kind of where we're at. And then I have this thing right here that I'm going to try to show you this, if I can spin this around without breaking something. But this is something that I remember, and a lot of guys with gray beards like this will remember these, that this is a VTM 60 PV. These came out in the I guess late 80s, early 90s kind of deal. And these things are monsters. This is a 60 watt version. They made a VTM 120 also. They are heavy. They are super, super loud. They're very, very simple amps. and they just have a 3-band EQ and a presence and preamp and master volume. Very, very basic. But they have these little dip switches, like little digital, dip switches that you can set various gain parameters and compression and stuff like that. And with these little dip switches, kind of like little mod things. But basically what this was Peavy's take on the modded Marshall sound of the 80s and trying to compete with some of the early Soldano sounds without all of the switching features. Very straightforward, very, very loud amplifier. So the customer's got this one in. He says, hey, it doesn't turn on. So that's step one, figure out why it doesn't turn on. So this is going to be on the bench here in the next couple of days. But those are a beast. That's a 120 watt, or that one's a 60 watt tube amp. You make a VTM 60 and a VTM 120. And I've played through both of them when they were new in the stores, and they are just unbelievably just biblically loud. They're just ridiculous, like shake the walls kind of thing. But they sound good. They sound like a modified Marshall, but they're just stupid loud. And the older Peavey stuff from before the year 2000, the Peavey stuff was made in Mississippi, handmade, built like it's industrial. I mean, it's like built like a tank. The coverings, you couldn't rip this covering off of these things if you had a torch. I mean, it's just ridiculous. And the chassis are super thick, and the things are heavy, and everything's just built. They were built so that you could tour with them, use them, and working man stuff kind of thing. But I kind of missed stuff like that. These used to be made like that. The Carvin stuff was the same way, and it was stuff that, I mean, you could buy it and use it, and it was just there, But anyway, that's going to be next in line on here. And I've got a couple of from the same customer that owns that amp. I've got a couple of acoustic guitars in there to do some stuff too, and a Schecter Schecter guitar. I don't pronounce that right, never have, but real nice one through the body neck, one piece. And he wants me to rewire. It's got a couple Seymour Duncan humbuckers in it. And he wants me to rewire it without a tone knob, ace the tone knobs, and put some coil split circuitry in there. So I'm going to be doing that. And I'll run you guys through that when I do that. So we've got a lot of things happening in here. I'm trying to get the shop back in the swing. Holidays slowed me down. The ice storm slowed me down. All kinds of things have been going on. But I'm focused and I'm back on it. So I'm getting there. If I have your stuff in the shop, it's right in line, I promise you. And I've got my nose to the bench, and we're doing it. So we're getting there done. And I will, as I get things done, I will do better to put more of these videos on here so that you guys can see it. And we will keep you updated on the Bauer Custom Guitar and Amplifier Shop in Ardmore, Oklahoma, and also the new Bauer family that will be forming very shortly. So I will keep you all posted on that, and we will get on down the road. So everybody have a nice it's hump day, so have a nice rest of the week. I'll see you on the weekend as well. And the weather's nice, at least where I'm at. The weather's nice, and some of us on the coast, on the West Coast and East Coast, are experiencing some of that white fluffy stuff that falls out of the sky, and it just is no fun. But here in the middle of the country, sunshine. I'm very thankful for that, because I cannot stand winter. So, the Christmas part of winter, beautiful. Lights, all that fun stuff. After the Christmas parade's over, Christmas day's over, forget it. Shut the lights off, put the sunshine back out, because I don't like it. But I love me some sun, so you'll be seeing me a lot outside in the summertime, springtime and summertime, enjoying myself. So anyway, enough rambling. You guys enjoy the rest of the week, and God bless y'all. And I will see you soon on the weekend downstroke. Bye.